board is that a meeting be confirmed today.
Yes.
Before we leave.
Before we leave, that the meeting be confirmed today. I said that we're, what's it called? In addition to that, we want to know for a fact that he's understanding our problem with this, and that 350 faculty have signed on to a letter against this, and that the students are pissed off, and that he's not saying or doing anything for us to accommodate us, to understand that we're marginalized or pissed off.
Right.
What's the timeline for the meeting? Are we gonna let him say come in 1 week? That doesn't
No,
work.
it has to be this week. It has to be this week.
I say Wednesday, before Wednesday.
That's fine.
I mean, whoever.
Is
I think
everyone
we
fine
should
with
vote.
Wednesday?
You apparently are willing to sell the soul of this university.
You apparently are willing to sell the soul of this university
To a glorified war criminal.
to a glorified war criminal.
We are not.
We are not.
We demand that you reverse your decision
That you reverse your decision
to present Condoleezza Rice
to present Condoleezza Rice
with an honorary degree.
with an honorary degree.
We demand
We demand
that you rescind
that you rescind
your invitation to Condoleezza Rice.
your invitation to Condoleezza Rice.
What do we want?
No Connie.
When we want it.
Now.
What do we want?
No Connie.
When we want it.
Now.
What do we want?
No Connie.
When we want it.
Now.
We who fight for freedom will not rest until it's won. We who fight for freedom will not rest. We who fight for Rutgers will not rest until it's won. We who fight for Rutgers will not rest. We who fight for Rutgers will not rest until it's won. We who fight for Rutgers will not rest. Bring back freedom. We who fight for freedom will not rest until it's won. We who fight for freedom will not rest. Roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul rise in heaven, Lord, when the dead went Jordan roll.
Went down to the Oakwood Field, where Marching started for me. That Gandhi was coming to speak at school. Well, that ain't right for me. I say, roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. My soul rise in heaven, Lord.
So we're gonna have her come outside right now. We're gonna ask her if she can speak to us, but I ask that you guys all be respectful at the very least, and we need our demands to be heard. We're not gonna accept leaving the building without some sort of a negotiation.
Yeah, if anyone boos or yells shame or insults her or calls her out, that's just grounds for them to ignore our demands.
My name is Shabir Abbas. So I have a letter from the 3 Muslim groups on campus. The Muslims demand a response from President Barchi in regards to the decision of inviting Condoleezza Rice, because the majority of effectees of the policies of the Bush White House were Muslims, and this is a very insensitive thing of him to do without getting the council of Muslim students, and we would like to know why he did that, and here's a copy of the letter.
We are very unhappy with the selection of someone with the criminal record as that Condoleezza Rice has, the one that she, the ways that she conducted herself during her tenure as a public servant, and I think that again, just in the way that her policies didn't reflect what maybe the American public was standing up for in those very hard times that we had in this past decade. The policies and the way that Robert Barchi is conducting this university is not reflecting our desires either as students.
It's not about religion, it's about violation of human rights.
That's right.
Yeah. So I guess any person with human rights is against Condoleezza Rice coming. That's why we're all here today. It's not a matter of religion or ethnicity. If you stand up for human rights, you don't want her to come.
There's like a big misconception that's used by our opposition. They say that we should allow Condoleezza Rice to come because she has freedom of speech. But we're not protesting her because we don't like her opinions. We're not protesting because we don't like something that she said. We are protesting her crimes. We're protesting her actions. And we're not protesting because we don't want her to be able to speak. We're protesting because we don't want her to be honored in our name by being invited as our commencement speaker. That is the issue.
It's really scary. Someone's being put up on a pedestal who supported torture and the worst forms of torture. If any other leader in the world had conducted this, they would not be put on the same pedestal. So it's really horrific that the decision was even made. You should see what went on. There were genital mutilations done at these camps. There were fingernails that were removed, sleep deprivation, and when they weren't tortured, they were made to listen to the torturers. And many times these were prisoners who weren't even convicted.
Only 26 have been convicted out of...
There were people who were put up as a bribe in Pakistan, where people were brought to these prisons and they were paid to bring prisoners in. These trials have not been conducted, there hasn't been justice, and we're here for justice.
We understand that the selection process was a departure from the regular process of selecting commencement speakers. And through OPRA, which is the Open Public Records Act, we do have a portfolio of 96 email exchanges, so we are aware that Barchi was aware of this and how it bypassed the normal selection process of this.
A lot of my peers have touched on the human rights violations and the atrocities that Condoleezza Rice has committed. And something that is so striking to me is that with all that being recognized, for a student like myself and for everyone else here, by the time we'll have graduated, we'll put in at least 4 years, and between loans and everything, over $100,000 just to get a degree. And then we invite Condoleezza Rice here, a war criminal, who gets paid $35,000 and speaks for 15 minutes and gets a degree. Which sort of says to me that my hard work isn't valid so long as I have a reputation of power and influence. And I don't think that that's at all the right message that Rutgers should be sending to anyone, especially in the greater New Brunswick community, in the state, in the United States. And it's really shameful.
Chris?
Also, another issue is a commencement speaker should be an upstanding member of society that shows integrity. Condoleezza lied to the American people, and her fabrications led directly to the death of tens of thousands of U.S. soldiers and over 1 million Iraqi civilians, and indirectly affected millions more Iraqis. So we shouldn't have someone that lied directly to people and doesn't have any integrity to speak at Rutgers.
If it was anyone from the Bush administration who was involved in crimes like these, we would be protesting them as well. So it's not just like, just Condoleezza Rice, but the point is that when you think of a commencement speaker, you think of someone who you can look up to. This woman has committed so many crimes that, she has not even been put to trial. So how can we look up to someone who is responsible for the deaths of so many?
I just want to add that I feel like a lot of people are framing this as like an issue of partisan politics, and it does not matter. It's Democrat, Republican, we don't care about that. We care about the issues that were brought up today.
Can we get your opinion? You said you had some questions.
I have no opinion. I mean, I think you all are passionate. You want to have your concerns known and they've been heard. And I will be very honest with you and tell you that I do not think that will change, her being the graduation speaker. So.
Well, I'm asking as a person, what do you feel? Whether it would change or not?
I have no opinion to offer you all, because this is not about me. You all are here to express your concerns, and I'm here to hear them, but I'm not judging them. I have no personal opinion to offer, but to tell you all that I think your concerns have been heard. I believe that there's some validity to them. And quite honestly, I'm just keeping it real. I don't believe that any of this will change who the graduation speaker is. So.
Okay, do you think that it's the responsibility of an American citizen to educate themselves and have an opinion on these things?
That's not what I'm here to discuss. But yeah, I do. But that's my opinion has nothing to do with why we're here sweating in this hallway right now. Yes.
So with like all these, facts presented in front of you, it doesn't bother you that someone like her is coming and she's being honored with such a degree, with such amount of money?
No, actually what's bothering me right now is that you all are preventing people from being able to do their work, and that you all have created an environment that's a concern, a safety concern. I think that I'm not objecting to your cause at all, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm here to really talk to you about why you all are here and what you want to accomplish. And Go ahead.
Well, we're constantly told that, you know, you have to be like peaceful to get things moving, to actually change things, but that never actually changes things. So this is kind of like a last measure because because
you're not listening to us.
Because you specifically told us that, you know, you talked to us like if you leave the building. No, we don't want to leave the building because you just said that you don't think that she's going to stop me with this is something that's absolutely necessary, that really needs to change, that she absolutely should not be the commencement speaker, should not be here, should not be honored. So what is there left for us to do? We're being extremely peaceful and being here, but yes, we're going to disrupt work because otherwise people aren't going to listen to us because that's already been proven that previous measures haven't done anything.
I guess I'm perhaps appealing to you from the standpoint of just if you feel like you haven't been heard, you have been heard. And there's been an answer, and it's an answer that you don't like. And so I get that. There's disappointment, there's frustration. And so my guess is now you're seeking to try and be heard or change a decision. And all you can do is be heard, because I don't believe you being here honestly will change the decision. And I'm treating you all like adults and just being honest with you. I could come up here and lie to you and tell you some Pollyanna stuff, but I'm just going to be honest with you. This is, I think, what we're dealing with. I don't think that her invitation is going to be rescinded because you all are here today.
I think the reason why things are not going to change is because the people who talk to us like you, who are supposed to be our representatives, state that they have no opinion.
Why don't you come down a little further? So my personal opinion is what matters to you?
May I finish?
Sure.
Because the people who actually show their face and talk to us and are said to listen to us and represent us actually have no opinion and tell us things are not going to change. The people who have opinions, the people who have the power to affect change, are nowhere to be found. They don't show their faces.
Suppose the 4,000 Muslim students were just withdraw their enrollment at Rutgers University. How would that seem? How would Rutgers University like that?
I think that would be awful.
That would be awful. So, in such a sensitive issue, why did you not consult us at all?
Because I didn't consult anybody because it's not my decision. But I mean,
it is our decision, but that was not hers.
That's
It was a
where you're
departure
wrong.
from the.
But that's where you're wrong.
We have an exchange.
All I'm suggesting is that, and I've only been here, I haven't been here quite a year, so I don't know all of the history. But I don't believe that the university has a democratic process whereby they poll the student body for input.
Absolutely not.
For, an agreement.
But they do ask the teachers, right? They ask the faculty. They do ask, there's numerous groups of people that they do ask. That was not done for this commencement speaker. And we do have, like I said before, an exchange of 96 emails between various people, including Barchi, that makes it clear that he was aware of the departure from the normal standards.
My name is Raza. Nice to meet you. I think you're a reasonable person, and I can probably say that you actually know what's going on, that you actually understand the issue. And I can see that you actually understand that this is a problem on a fundamental level, that you have an obligation to do whatever is in your power to tell Barchi, because we are the students and we know it's wrong, and you are a person, you're a human being, and you know deep down that it's wrong. You know it's wrong what went on. Yeah. And you know that there are plenty of other people who can come in replacement of Condoleezza Rice. And I'm speaking to you on a heart-to-heart level right now. And I'm saying that if you walk away from this conversation and you just walk away and say, I have no power to do anything, then we're just all here as a waste. Our whole education is a waste. Everything that we learned about government, everything that we learned about democracy is a complete waste, because you have the power to at least influence Barchi by saying something to her.
Because I want to respond to part of what you said. And I want to tell you a bit about how I perceive my role. As Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, my job is to advocate and support students. And so I'm here because I'm concerned, and I want to create a venue where you all feel heard. What I take issue with, though, and I'm being very honest, is the fact that you've decided that because you haven't got the outcome that you want, that you're here disrupting the work environment for the other people who don't have any power in that decision-making process. So what I encourage is for you all to sit down at the table. I will facilitate, I will work with President Barchi's office to try to facilitate a meeting, or at least to encourage him to try and find time to meet with you all this week. Yeah. I cannot guarantee that he will. And again, I'm going to be honest with you and say, as an adult and as a realistic person, I honestly do not think that the invitation will be rescinded. But I think your opportunity here is to be heard and to have an opportunity to meet with the president and to voice your concerns. I don't believe that it may necessarily ultimately change the invitation, but I would advocate for that. But part of what I won't do is advocate for anything until you all come down out of this building, because it's creating a disruption. I understand somebody has been cut by the glass or whatever, so I don't know what occurred.
We're all fine. That's not true.
No one's been cut.
Let me finish. So I understand that that has occurred, and once we cross the line into something that is not a peaceful protest, but is disruptive and may create a health or safety risk, then you're treading in a place that I can't support. So I want to be your advocate, and I want to help you have an opportunity to meet with the president, but you know, there is going to be a certain sense of order that would have to be followed in order for that to happen.
Do you think we would have got a meeting if we didn't cause this disruption?
No. Here's the thing.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. No. Let me respond to you. Let me respond to you because you have a lot of lip. So let me respond to you. Did you ever request a meeting with the president?
The faculty council requested a meeting with the president, and they were denied and repressed, okay?
The faculty council are not the students. I'm not the dean of the faculty.
I'm sorry. I feel like the administration has an obligation to allow a space for faculty and students to meet with the president. You're claiming that this is a disruption and this isn't the way to go, but the reason why it's escalated to this point is because you have refused to hear us beforehand. And now you're claiming to create a venue to listen to us, but you're creating that venue after a decision has already been made without any of our input or without the natural democratic process that's already been in place.
It's not about getting... This is actually it. So you come over and you scream and you yell, and at the end of the day you're sweaty and you feel like you accomplished something. But screaming and yelling is not going to create an environment
every
for
major
change.
change in history has come about through disruptions and civil unrest.
One at a time. One at a time.
Reza?
Can I just say that our disturbance puts nothing to what the Iraqi people have gone through, and that's the reason why we're here. The disturbance of the people working on the computer, we respect them. The disturbance of the people who are working in this building, we respect them. But if a little noise can perturb someone from not doing their work, then they should understand the consequences of the bombs dropped on Iraq. That's why our disturbance is nothing. We'll stay here all day. We'll be sweaty all day, and that's the thing.
But in essence, what you're saying is that your right to protest is more important than somebody else's right to be in a work environment. No, really, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Yes, in this circumstance, yes it is.
What we're asking for is that you do your very best to ensure that, and actually get it to happen, that President Barchi can meet with us this week, and that he will meet with us this week, and he does see that letter, and that he confirms it to us personally. And we want it by Wednesday. And if we don't have that, then we're not moving.
We're not moving.
We're not moving.
So let me say, I'm your advocate, I'm your supporter, I'm not your whipping boy, and I don't take orders. So I will try to do my job in advocating, but like you all, I want to be respected. So everybody here is an adult, right? And everybody can make an adult decision. So what's important for you to understand is at the point when you're asked to leave the building, if you choose to stay here and exercise your rights, that's fine. But you do that knowing that there may be consequences. So please be mindful of the fact that however it happened, glass has been broken, someone may have been injured. So that's happened in the commission of this protest. Okay? So for others that may no longer be perceived as peaceful. So my advice to you, and you can take it or leave it, but is to try and be as least disruptive as possible to the people who are working here, and to take direction. But of course you get to make your choice, and that is up to you. But I'm not going to go back and be directed to do, there would be no reason for me to go back and advocate that you meet with the president, make time to meet with you all right now, because it seems like that's not something that you all really want to do. You're wanting me to promise you something that I don't think I can promise at this point.
Oh wait, that's fine, but we have to put the request out there the way we want it, you know? So that's why we're not calling you a whipping boy, or we're not giving you orders.
Well,
I mean,
that's what it sounded like.
That's not, you know what, and what you were saying to us sounds like you don't care, and like you're not gonna do anything for real. If I told you, everybody should be somewhere else. And it's sad that it's on our initiative that we've taken all of you and driven you here, but you know what? We are the ones who have responded to this call, and we are the ones who have decided to do something about it. You know, we're not here to tell him what to do, or you what to do, or any one of you what to do. We're putting our requests out there, and if we are disrupting people at work, that is something that we know consciously that we are doing, and we know consciously that there might be consequences, and we're here. Like, we're adults. You don't need to remind us that we're adults. Like,
well, the reason that I say that is because I'm getting the sense that you may actually believe that if you scream and stay in the stairwell tonight, that tomorrow morning somebody will say she's not coming. And I'm just saying that that's probably not going to happen.
We're with NewBrunswickToday.com. How are you? Do you know, are the students allowed to use the bathroom?
They just texted me saying emergency before you get arrested.
I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
They're not allowed to.
We're not allowed to use the bathroom?
They're not allowed to use the bathroom. They're blocking them. They're not allowed. We're not allowed to bring them any food or water. So they're basically.
So that's why the food is right there.
It right here, and they won't allow them to bring it in there at all. So they've been here for maybe like, what time is it? Like 6? So 6 hours. I'm here because this is an outright injustice. They're using her as like for her color. They're saying, oh, she's a woman of color, so we need to bring her. When Rutgers University has never had a woman of color president. This is just like, you don't value people of color. I'm a woman of color, and imagine if I was in Iraq. I have one of my best friends' mom. I was living in Jordan, and her whole entire house was burned down from the Iraqi war. And I seen it with my own eyes, so it's like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And like what if I was born in Iraq? Then they would have killed me too. And does my life doesn't matter just because now I'm an American citizen? She's a war criminal. How did so many innocent Iraqi children die? And no one said anything, and now we're allowing her to come and we're honoring her. We're giving her $30,000, a doctorate.
Connie Rice's got to go! Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Connie Rice's got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Connie Rice's got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Connie Rice's got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! We say fight back! Washington stay back! We say fight back! Washington stay back! We say fight back!
And they cannot stop us. And it keeps on going. Keeps on going. And there is nothing they can do to stop us. It will keep on going until we get this war criminal off our campus. Until we stand up. And there's nothing that can stop us. Look around you. Everyone here is dedicated. No one here is going to falter. We all stand together as one. And there's nothing that can stop us. And I mean nothing. Not this university administration. They could not stop us today. They will not stop us not tomorrow. They will never stop us. Never!
While we're inside making a very difficult decision, whether we're going to stay inside and risk getting arrested or come out here and reconvene with all of you, we decided that the only way we would accept leaving this early on without our demands being met was if we all committed ourselves and pledged to continuing this on even more forcefully than when it started.
At times where administrators attempted to negotiate with us and instead met us with contempt and threatened us and said that they don't care if we starve, they want us out. So at about 6 o'clock, the chief of police came and told us, without really any real notification, that if we don't leave by 6:15, we will get arrested, we will get possibly face a criminal prosecution, be charged with criminal trespassing, and possibly be suspended from the university.
Go to the bathroom. They
They allow us
to
to
get
go to
food
the
from the
bathroom,
outside.
get food from outside, and allow us to get drink. We were
They
basically
lied.
sieged and locked into that building.
They also lied to Sharif. They said they would let him back in if he stepped outside.
Yeah, sure. We had people that were negotiating with the police, and they lied to them and wouldn't let them back in.
The Vice Chancellor repeatedly accused us of doing a violent protest, attacking the security guards, and this never actually occurred. So I just want all you guys to know that, including the media, if they're still here. We are peaceful people. We do not condone any violence. We are not Condoleezza Rice.